This is the Raw and Radical Woman in the Arts podcast, and I am your host, Maureen Broadbeck.
Raw, unprocessed.
In each episode, we explore the mechanisms of identity, vulnerability, authenticity, empowerment, and social change through conversations with inspiring women who are making history and challenging the status quo in both the art world and in society.
Radical, rebel, progressive.
We talk about their real-life challenges and celebrate cis and transgender women so that you can be inspired, empowered, take action, and further your critical understanding about what it means to be a woman in the arts.
Woman, feminism. A revolutionary catalyzing reformation. Radical.
Lyz Parayzo is a Brazilian artist living and working in Paris, where she's doing her master at the Beaux-Arts de Paris. She also lives in Sao Paulo. Her work investigates themes related to sexism, racism, and LGBT phobia. She has a militant practice and she uses her body as a political space, a space of revendication for talking and demanding space for self-expression. She started her career at the Parque Lage School of Visual Arts in Rio de Janeiro, where she started to use her art as activism and began invading exhibitions with surprise performative actions centered on her body. She calls these actions guerrilla plans. One special note about this episode, Lyz's accent is pretty strong and it might be not so easy for some of you to understand her well. Please refer to the transcript on our website. We ask you for your understanding as it is important for us to welcome artists and fine art professionals from every background and culture and listen to their unique stories and perspectives. This is how we stay global and this is how we evolve together. A special thanks to Laetitia Massel for letting us record this episode in her gallery, Espace L, here in Geneva. Hi Lyz, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me for your podcast.
Oh, you're so welcome. We are recording this episode at the gallery Espace L in Geneva, where you have a solo show called PornoChic. So Lyz, you were born in Rio de Janeiro and you now live between Paris and Sao Paulo. How do you describe yourself and your art?
Well, I'm starting my artwork in the place the activism. Yeah, and
yes.
I never think before I'm really make the arts for survive or sell, etc. Because I'm arrived in the poor family in the banlieue, the Rio de Janeiro, and start to study art in the art school in the elitist place. I feel the necessity, the express myself in this space, my school.
To express yourself, yeah.
Well, exactly. But I want to make these things talk about my identity, my performative, and for my school too much, and I start to make interventions.
Yeah.
But I need back for your question. I am in Paris now, make the master in Beaux-Arts de Paris, and my work is about me. It's like my book when I can start the débat public.
Yeah, public debate.
Yeah, public debate for the peoples, and I think about this.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, because you started with guerrilla plans where you did guerrilla performance and you invaded existing exhibition spaces.
Yeah.
So tell me about this.
Why?
Why?
A suffragist too, make the intervention and the exhibitions. Well, normally, before you're born, the medical say you're a girl, you're a man, because see this ultrasonography, and they see the sex.
Yeah.
And I'm start experimentation the performance feminine. Yeah, voilà.
Yeah.
And in the public space and my life change, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
But sometimes art space is little conservative because want to talk about these things. Yeah. And for this, I make the actions no official because I try make the conventional form, but it was not invite me so much. Imagine my first work is my ass open and my nails. I paint my nails. Yes, my censored. Because I put in that bathroom in my first school and not official artwork, but I put the technical, how can I say this in English, subtitle, the work, and the people go to the toilet and don't know is the official or no official.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's very strong work, yeah, because everybody talk about this and don't know is the official or not official. And I make the guerrilla plan for continue my work. In the first exhibition, I put my ass in the bathroom. In the second, I make the fanzine talk about the censure. Put the many artists talk about the censure, Brazilian art, Hudson Jr., make a technical the serigraph xerox copy the body and they have the dick and say it's not possible show the dick, or Vitor Arruda is the painting and say I can talk about all the things the art if the many artworks talk about censor and give for the people in the school, and I have the big problem because the direction don't like so much. And the first time have the other exhibition, I'm go for the gallery, use just underwear, red, and make the big dresses in paper, and start my little John Carré this form. And it's very important for me because I'm learn make the arts in the interventions like this, no sitting in the chair and listen the teacher, but put the artwork in the word and see what will happen.
Yeah, so it's really about experiencing what you do. Why do you think this censorship happened? Is it because of the subject? Is it because of the reflection it can steer? Is it because it's disturbing?
Because I think for disturbing, because the art school rent the restaurant for the one people. Imagine it's the same time art school and they have the private restaurant and the people need to go to the toilet and they have the problem because imagine you rent one space for people, make one restaurant and the same time have the school and have the ass in the bathroom. It's too much for the institution. But I think it's very crazy because I'm all the time in the art school, you listen, you are free for make all the things, but in real life, like system art, have the big catalogs, books, talk about the art activism, but when you make this, you have the problems because the people want to be feeling this sensation, and everybody have the ass, I don't understand the problem,
I agree.
The ass is the place the trans woman or gays make the sex and they have the many things on control if the different parts of the body, and I don't know.
I agree. This is every body part that's related to sex, I think, even if it's not only sex, is a problem for people. I'm trying to understand, in the history, when did that start? Because it was not always like that. I mean, it shows that we're still pretty close to discussing certain things as a society. Right? This is interesting. So your work is really striking. It's sharply cut, I have to say, beautiful, gentle, and in the same time really powerful and somehow violent. You use the image of razor blades, and it brings dualities in unique way. The title of your exhibition is PornoChic, and it was inspired by one of the tales of the book of the Erotic Tales by the Brazilian writer Hilda Hilst. And this one is called O Caderno Rosa de Lori Lambi, which could translate to the Rose Book of Lori Lambi. Can you tell us what inspired you in this poem?
No, I'm starting my artwork in the place, the activism, but after I think I can make the attacks all the time if the galleries and the art school and the museums, because I have the other series, I make the flyers if the prostitution, with my image and the number and the address, the space, art space I'm working not pay me, and I make the many actions before I start make the sculptures, and I see the sculpture like a cheval de Troie.
How do you call it?
Troy horse. Voilà.
Le cheval de Troie.
Because if I talk about my body directly, my performative, the violence, desire, the people have with my body. Sometimes the people have the problems because, and for this I use the concretist statical for talk about the desire and the violence. And this way I use the cut, plie, on Gestalt for making my sculptures. And in the same time I wanna talk about my body, yeah, because my work's about the body. And I started the conversation if the Lyz Clark is a big artist Brazilian and teaching in Sorbonne too, and I'm writing now about her work in my memoir. And well, and I'm starting to use the aluminium because Lyz work with the aluminium. I have the story. My grandfather make the bijou jewelries in silver and ore and gold, and when I start making my sculptures, I start to make the sculptures jewelries for self-defense. Because I think when I can continue my discourse with the artist, I will make the objects, because it's difficult. Imagine I use my body in the public space for make the performance or installation, space the activism, and when you start to work in the galleries, the museums, you have just one object. And sometimes the object is not my body. It's different signal. For this, I start to make the sculptures for have the same intention. I start to make the series. The name is the Bellic jewelries. Like bracelets, rings for fighting or for protection. But for me, it's impossible to make the big sculptures in the silver or gold because it's very expensive. And in this time, I'm start to research so much Lyz Clark and see, well, I want to use the aluminium. Because the same material Lyz used for making her sculptures, and in Brazil is not so expensive because Brazil have the many different metals. I make the art on a residence artistic, art residence in São Paulo. And I'm learning manipulate the aluminium and create the things more biggest and for the body. And I'm starting with the jewelries, and after make the shields. And after the shields have the more spatial movement, the
mobiles. I find it really interesting because the jewelries that you create for self-defense, it brings together this duality between shielding yourself, protecting yourself, and desire, because jewelry have to do with desire. So you would say the same thing for the big mobiles you do.
I want to start talk about my body or in the public space, because when I walk on the street or I'm living my life or in the subjectives, I feel one place the desire and violence at the same time. And imagine if you go out this gallery and you walk in the street with my shield. Is the other experience, because the performative feminine catalyzes many energies, many sides all the time. And for this, I make shield for put the questions: who need one shield in their life? And why? And I wanna create this debate in the gallery here. For talk about my body, because it's one thing poetic. I can't use this in the street. Imagine.
This is super interesting. This idea of the shield and we all have or create these shields for
and
us.
You can attack too with the shield, because in from the sea, the blade, and it's the two things. You can protection and the attack in the same time. But I forget talk about the Lori lamp and the one interesting story. Because, well, I'm living in Paris, and all the day I'm go to the cruise. It's the university restaurant, the Beaux-Arts de Paris. And I see one exhibition very strong. Cuba Academy is the Afghanistan exilé in Paris. And her make one performance in the Afghanistan and use one armor, and the people wanna kill her because woman artists make the performance with the armor in the public space, and for this her change for Paris and they start painting the woman's naked, make the sex with animals, different things. And when I see this, I remember my pornograph phase, when I start to make the art, have the sensory work or video, I'm touch and masturbation, but I don't have the vagina, I just touch one part of my body, because this time I'm read too much Paul Preciado, manifeste consensual.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand very well the gender is not the biological but performatical.
Yeah.
And I understand have the problems if the desire with my body. And maybe I create the pornography like a militant place.
Yeah.
For the people who have desire to with my body. And for this, make this video. And after this exhibition, the Cuba, happening in the Eric Mouchet Gallery in Paris now, have one painting, very special. The 3 women make the sex with the horse. And I remember at the same time the Hilda Hilst, because PornoChic have the different stories. And one stories have the zoophilia, and the one woman make the sex with the horse. But I use the Lori Lambi, is the little girl que se prostitue.
The prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, herself, yeah.
And her tell the stories natural, the form very natural.
Yeah.
And all the things pink, and they have one atmosphere, the desire, e violence. Parce que the girl have the desire, if the man's more oldest, but when you're reading outside, you see many situations the violence if you want little girl. Yeah. And I chose this for make the exhibition, this history, for think about what atmosphere I want to create here. For this, I use all the things pink. At the same time, it's pink, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and dangerous.
Yeah.
And I mix it, desire and violence.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting the Réserve des Arts de Paris. And it's the big space in Paris. The artist can both the things for recyclate and not so expensive. And I bought many letters,
recycled,
pink, recycles, And I'm thinking, well, I want painting the sculptures because I want to make the manual thing. Because for long, I'm starting work in the industrial place, cut a laser. And the exhibition, I want to mix a different language for recycle. My first work, the video, serigraphy, and create one little word for my body. And about this.
Cool. So you mentioned Paul Preciado and his book Counter-Sexual Manifesto, which basically dismantled this idea of an heterocentric social contract in society, and also the identities and behavior of what is the norm. So for you, how do you see yourself in this, and how do you see how you can take your space, because your work is a lot about taking space and demanding also the space because of the performance you did, where you just went there and did them. You demanded the space, you took the space, you didn't wait for somebody to give you the space. So this notional space is very important. How do you see that, you taking the space, and for not only you, but for everyone else also?
When I'm reading this book, I feel normal. Because he create the pop philosophy for talk about the body, not stay in the heteronormative body. And all the time, sometimes I have the shine for my performance in the public space, because all the time the people look at me so much, and I feel maybe I'm not, I'm different, or I'm trans people, I know. But when you read this, you understand the body like a construction, performative construction, and they have the many possibilities, the construction of body, and it's okay. It's okay if you wanna be other thing, not the normal people. What's normal?
Exactly.
And it's very important for me, because the manifesto is the tacticals for change this system. And inside the book, you can write your signature with your new name, and you mix it one feminine name and the masculine name. Because for Paul Preciado it's important you make the confusion for the mind the other peoples, for fighting with the patriarcado, etc. Patriarchy. Voilà. For me, I read this, and it's so much for my mind, because I make this normally. I don't need to read this book because my body is staying in this place, and my body is so political for this. But when I read this, and I understand better my body like a political space. I make the many plastic things for make the discussion, and create public debate about this. And think about this for make this. For this, I put together my ass and nails with the colors, because normally, if you see this body, and for this, I mix the feminine signal and my ass or the video.
So the image is basically what we see in the image to describe it. Is you opening your butt. You bring this image together. And mix this and is my body. If I wanna make these things, I make it, okay? But I make this video too, Papai está descansando, because Paul Preciado e Unsprinkle, and the Unsprinkle make the post-porno manifest, like a movement for use the pornography like a militant space, because her is a woman director, and the pornography normally is for the man desire. I wanna use the pornography for my desire too. And reivindicate one space with my body and not stay in the normal heteronormative place. And I wanna put this image in the world for the people see this and create your desire in the different body. Because imagine I don't have the vagina and touch one part of my body, and the Paul Preciado talk too much about the desire and the decentralization. The desire, the sexual parts. And he talk about this in this book. Of the sexual parts,
exactly. And for this, I make this video. I'm touch one part my simulation, the masturbation.
It's a really nice video, actually. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
There's something really soft and sweet about it. And, so in your work, you examine the LGBT phobia. You really feel this phobia a lot, and what message do you want to
In Brazil, it's more strong, LGBT phobia. It's very dangerous. For the trans people's age, the medial, the age starts 35 years.
35 years?
It's very... I'm staying in Paris, it's okay. I'm living in the place, it's comfortable for me. But when I'm back to Brazil, I have the fear for walking the street in the night, because sometimes the people want to fight with you because you are the LGBT people,
You're not
and
like them.
you are the place, the periphery, or is more dangerous. The people kill the LGBT peoples, And for this, I'm born in Rio de Janeiro. I'm born in the periphery, and for I go to
in the suburbs,
in the art school, I need to go for the rich parts in the city, and the 2 wars. And all the times the people ask me, you are the girl or man or the love? I feel ridiculous because for this I make these things for self-defense because I feel many things in this place. And now in Paris, I'm studying Beaux-Arts de Paris, and I think it's very open, but no. I have the main problems with the technical means, because imagine I wanna work in the metal studio. In the metal studio officially is for the men, for
guys.
Work, etc. And before open the exhibition, my teacher metal studio blocked you. And they say, I blocked you because your comportment is like a petite fille.
Oh, your behavior is like a little girl. My gosh.
And for this, imagine he say this for me, and I go to metal studio and make many things for fighting, Buckley. And my work is about the experience in my life too, because I'm staying in the comfortable place in Paris. I know if I go the street, the people will not fight with me, or I'm not dead, because it's different. Brazil, Paris, France, here it's very safe place, but have the subjective things all the times. It's different things. Imagine it, the teachers write me this email, your comportement like a petite fille, et c'est pour ça que je vais t'en bloquer. And I don't believe I'm go to France, Paris for study in the first art school. The France is more important, and the art school, and they have the teacher very sexist, machist.
Where it's an art school, you would expect people to be open.
Obviously, because the people work with the art. And it's incredible. But after I bought the machines for finish my art sculpture. Imagine I'm arriving in the gallery, say, I'm so sorry not to finish the sculptures because the technical, the Beaux-Arts de Paris is very machist, and I can't make this. I need to be professional. But happening many things in my life is not so open. Sometimes it's very subjective. but the things happening, yeah. And I'm try talk about this if my sculpture is the poetic place, I know, yeah, but it's my form to express myself in one place, because if I make the arms, if I make the things very dangerous, maybe the people ask why why one people need make the shield, etc. Voilà.
It seems to me that people in general have a very difficult time when the line starts to be blurred, between gender, and when there's this fluidity coming.
Yeah.
They need to be, for some reason, reassured that this is a woman, a real woman with
but I
behavior,
think this,
and this is a man.
But when you have the possibility, and the people's the fluid, the place is the more dangerous place, I think, because the people see you not the biological woman and they attack you. When I arrive in the gallery, I'm talking with Leticia, as the gallerist. I have the problems if the color this part, because
the moustache.
Yeah, because this is the time that people see and they know I don't have the vagina, and they maybe what's this body, what's happening here, and I think the fluid body and they have the characteristics, the biological man, the special problem for other peoples, because if you have the possibility, it's okay.
Why do you think that is, that people have such a difficult time with accepting?
I don't know. I think everybody have the heteronormative education all their life and have the problems for understand this. I don't know, but to have the people is okay. I don't know, because I don't believe it's just for the access, because they have the people's not stir feminist but respect, etc. And then we understand, like my grandmother tell me, the feminine never have the problems if this, and not finish the school, not writing very well, just respect. And I think it's important to apreciar just but many theoricals, but it's the bubble. It's very specific people reading these things. The people's feminist artists, people, philosopher, etc. It's important for you create these things, I think, but I don't know. What
would be your ideal world, your ideal society?
Well, the society, I don't have fear. I don't need to work more than artist men. I'm trying many artist residence in Paris, and have the other men's white Brazilian. And I have 4 pieces, different museums in Brazil. My curriculum have the 5-page, but the art residence accept the guy, finish now Beaux-Arts de Paris, never make the solo show. I make 4 solo shows, and I just see why. Maybe because my work talk about the questions, taboo,
it questions things that maybe people don't want to question.
And I say art, right? My work is decolonial, feminist. Sometimes for the people it's too much, because this touch the privilege, white supremacy, etc. France is conservative, I think. Paris is the cosmopolitan city, but it's the old, it's difficult. The young people know it's okay. The metal technical, same thing in the art school.
Crazy. That's really crazy.
But I like so much work too much, and make my work, and I construct my way. But I see the difference. The white men don't have the same CV like me, never make the institutional exhibitions, and they talk about nothing. Talk about nothing.
What would you advise a young man, a young artist that would like to live this life as a woman?
When I make the 15 years, I'm start to use the feminine clothes. And my mother say, you wanna be like this? I not give more money for you. Go working. And my grandmother is perfect and they support me all my life. Yes, and I go out my mother's house. But it's the process, because first time in my mother mind, I am the gay. But if you are gay, it's okay. Because it's about the performative. Feminine performative. But I don't know, don't have the day I will wake up and say, now I want to be the woman. Just in the process happening. I'm very young and 15 years imagining. and I'm start to use the clothes my friends or start to buy the clothes.
Yeah.
And my mother is very Christian, the difficult people. Today her respect me, but not tell me for this in my registered name, and tell me in masculine. Just my sister have the 17 years and they tell me feminine, tell me Lyz. My grandmother too, but my mother no. I have the piece in the Museu de Arte São Paulo Art Museum, sorry. And I have the card for go to the museum forever because I have the piece. Yeah. And my mother have this card in Brazil now, yeah. And her tell me for my registered name, but when her go to the museum, her say, I am the Lyz mother. But when talk with me, it's different. I respect you. I think it's the process. Yeah, my mother respect me. I think it's important. For one time in my life, I fight with everybody for the pronoun. But now I think this is not so important for me. I know when the people don't understand my gender because I'm staying in the fluid space too.
Yeah.
I did not make the surgery, not make the laser, not use hormones. Yeah, because now I want to make the focus in my career, and it's expensive make these things in France, in Europe. Yeah, it's very expensive, and it's a big decision because sometimes I don't know if I need to make this for me or for the society. Tell me in one feminine pronoun. I think too much about this. It's not my priority. I want to be me, and I think I need discovery in my process, what I want to make or know or...
Yeah, we all evolve in life and change. This is beautiful. Good for you.
Yeah, I think I need respect to me too, because I don't need to be things for the society, because it's very violent too. I like my body, I like it, and okay.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I want to say thanks so much. I'm very happy for making the exhibition, and my work, my life, and I'm so happy for create discussions in the society about my body, because I think it's the educational place too for the people have the empathy if the people like me.
Absolutely.
And for me is the big goal.
I am really glad I got to talk to Lyz about her work and life. I am sure it is very inspiring for many of you. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know about your ideas and thoughts about the themes Lyz raises through her work by emailing us at hello@rawradical.com or via social media like Instagram @rawradical. Check out her work and read the story on our website. The transcript is also available there, rawradical.com. Thanks for listening, and remember, this is a global dialogue. This podcast is supported by Pro Helvetia, the Swiss Arts Council, the Republic and Canton of Geneva, and the city of Nancy in Switzerland. We are so thankful for their support and commitment to women, culture, and the arts. Thanks for listening to Raw and Radical Women in the Arts podcast. Learn more about our featured artists and sign up for news and updates by visiting our website rawradical.com.
Organic, radical, profound.
Please consider leaving us a comment and review on your preferred podcast listening platform to help others discover the show and take part in this global dialogue.
She, intuitive.
I am Maureen Broadbeck, and until next time, keep the dream alive.
Woman.